Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you. My name is Ashita Marya, and I welcome you all to this virtual FRO Expo. For over last 2 decades, Franchise India exhibitions and FRO Expo has been instrumental in promoting franchising, in helping franchisors and franchisees meet and trade profitably. In these COVID times, which are really unprecedented for all of us, we are continuing with our purpose, making franchise brands in meeting potential partners. In its first such webinar under FRO Expo umbrella, I'm extremely delighted to have a brand that I truly like, not just as a business associate, but as a consumer in person, as well as at an enterprise level. So let me, first share a little bit of story with you that, way back in 1999, when I just came to Delhi, where I, of course, now live, I was a fresh MBA intern, and there was this neighborhood retail store in the basement, which largely had artificial flowers, which is run by Mr. Gudgutia. So I started my association with him as a consumer first. And slowly and steadily, when we got talking, it came to, an idea that, why can't we really franchise? And today we are with, 300 plus locations, with so many years. I think Ferns and Petals as a company has been extremely strong. It was very difficult, initially those days to even think of, something like flowers, to be franchised to a level which it has been there today. And I'm very proud to say that, they are the only ones who've been able to do it, not just at a national scale, but at an international scale as well. So we have, they have their operations in Dubai and Singapore as well now. So as associates, we've been mutual admirers since then. Not just cakes, their name has become synonymous to gifts, as well as deliveries within a dedicated time. So we'll listen to, Anil Sharma from Ferns and Petals now. So before that, would just like to put in a context or some rules for our attendees. So discussion will approximately be there for an hour, which will be followed by a Q&A session. So everybody can post their questions, and then we'll take it up one by one. If you have any questions which come up during the session, you can even write it down there. We'll take it up at the end of the discussion. Please participate in the polls during the presentation that will go on. We would have some questions posed for you. Please do take them up. We'll also encourage, all the participants to participate and ask. In case they look forward to get in touch with the company, they can write to us within the Q&As, or later also can fill up a feedback form, and we can facilitate the meeting as well. So now over to you, Nikhil.
This is Anil. Ashita, thank you for such lovely words. And indeed, it's a very, very long association with Franchise India. Today, Ferns and Petals is the biggest flower retail chain in the world. Franchise India has a lot of contribution to what we have become now. In our course of journey, we have been introducing various modes of gifting. And focus has been, very, very clearly that we deliver smiles and carry emotions for our esteemed customers, their loved ones, and we try to connect the dots in terms of emotional quotient in more than 500 cities in the country, and of course 136 international destinations. What we do. So Nikhil will present a small presentation wherein we would want to talk about our new venture, which is F&P Cakes and More. And he will also share a few facts and figures. And thereafter, we'll be happy to answer each and any question you have. Over to you, Nikhil.
Thank you. A very good evening to everybody. So thank you very much, Ashita ma'am, for all the lovely words. reminiscing the old days, sharing the nostalgia. Thank you. So let's begin. Funs and Petals as an organization is now more than 25 years old. We celebrated our silver jubilee. 2019. A quick look at the vision and the vision and the mission of the company. So, like Anil sir was saying, the vision of the company is to be the largest premium gifting uh, brand, not only in India but globally. And we strive to be a 500 crore business by 2020, and we are right on path to achieve that. Values which drive the organization: customer centricity, like Spencer said, we bring smiles to people's happiness. Trust and integrity, we believe in having ethical and honest policies for holders. Accountability, that we respect deadlines and we hold ourselves accountable for everything. Whatever we do it with an objective to be profitable, and we are very cost conscious. One example was shared by Ashita ma'am, and 1994, our Managing Director, Mr. Vikas Gurgutia, started off with a single store in Delhi. And today we have almost 186 outlets across 120, both the flour and the cake verticals. We have been a driver of marketplace innovation and a contributor in local economies. There are more than 3,500 trained workforce employed with us in our stores, and the huge setup that we have in Hyderabad and Delhi. The core emphasis has always been on bringing customer delight, and that's one of the core reasons for the success journey. We are the world's largest chain of flower boutiques with 306 shops in one. We will be talking about the F&B Cakes and More business model today. So we have 80 operational stores. Post lockdown, we are scheduled to launch another 18 of them. On an average, we are opening 2 new outlets every week. Almost 50% of our franchisees are women, the stronger gender, if I may say so. The statistics are like, a cake is being sold every 3 seconds from our outlets, be it in terms of the online orders being delivered or the offline retail walk-ins that are happening. The catalog that we have is more than 26,000 plus gifting ideas that we offer to the customers. So now the figures that I'm sharing over here are a bit more general from the Funs and Petals organization point of view. I'll be sharing few more very specific statistics and data with respect to the Cakes and More vertical a little later on. We are faster than a courier, deliver gifts within 3 hours and all. We have a huge presence of delivering gifts across international countries. We have a tie-up with almost 450 plus third-party service providers globally. And like I just said, the florist and the chef, the trained workforce, that's our strength. And we have a strong army of 2,500 plus. If you look at the various verticals within the Funs and Petals group, so that everybody knows, the flower retail boutique chain. Then we have our own e-commerce websites. We have operations in Dubai and Singapore now. F&B Cakes and More is the bakery. Have a flagship store. Floral Touch, F&B Gardens, F&B Media, Flowers and More, F&B Weddings. So it's a conglomerate of various verticals. Look at the a brief geographical presence of our outlets. So 306 flower shops and 80 bakery confectionery shops across India. So we'll be talking about F&B Cakes and More concept today. So when we say F&B Cakes and More, the bakery concept, so what are we selling from those stores? So as a consumer, you get cakes, you get different kinds of pastries, you get dry cakes, flavored cakes, fruit cakes, special cakes, which are in retail stores. And we have our own branded merchandise wherein we give you F&B. You get personalized gifts from the cake shops also. You can do and buy plants from there. With few milestones, April 2017, we started with one store. By 2018, we were 25 strong, and March 20 ending, we are at 80 operational stores, and thanks to the lockdown, we have started our first base kitchen in 2018. At the graph at how the growth story. Quick look at the concept store that we have. Small, beautiful store. This and a couple of other young, hip, relaxed interior. Make the ambience look. Here are a few images that I'm sharing of, this is a bit bigger cafe model kind of. Gwalior, Delhi, Vasant Kunj. This is we have a presence in tier 2, 3 towns as well. Now coming to the F&P Cakes and More franchise program, an average Cakes and More store, in terms of the store design, we, like I explained, that one of the core values of the organization is to be cost conscious. So the interiors, the design, and everything is done while keeping the cost effectiveness in mind. The concept, the interiors and the design concept is very easy and fast to build. It's easy to maintain. Going back to the images of the stores and the concept store that I just shared, the interiors are kept very welcoming and happy. We try to keep a universal look and appearance. The core value drivers of sales or customer loyalty for an F&P Cakes and More store is the vast variety of products that you can offer. Cakes, pastries, chocolates, cookies, snacks, beverages, breads, and this is very long. We deliver smiles. We have a concept of a cake of the month, pastry of the week, and cake of the quarter. Then we come up, we have an R&D center in Delhi from where we come up with unique designs, presentations, and new recipes which are shared with the franchisees to learn and replicate in the stores and share it to sell it to the customers. We believe in and practice superior customer service and delight, and the environment is created in a very exciting way to encourage buying, especially for the millennials and the young crowd. The advantages of becoming an F&P franchisee is, first is like with every brand and every franchisee, we have an F&P website support wherein the customers placing online orders on our website, orders are delivered through our franchisee stores. So that's an additional revenue model that you get. We help you in selecting the right locations. Like in retail, it said the three most critical parts are location, location, location. So we have a team in place which helps you to select the right location for the store. We provide you with the trained technical manpower support. So in F&B Cakes and More case, the chefs, the first time placement of the chefs is done and helped by us. so that your learning curve and your settling down period is that much more faster. We support you with monthly e-commerce business. We have a very comprehensive franchisee training program, which is held in the Delhi head office. And there are ongoing learning programs which are provided through webinars, through videos, through recipes, through visits to the R&D center in the Delhi head office. So it's an ongoing process of training and learning for the franchisees. We provide you with F&B exclusive merchandise at wholesale prices with a beautiful exchange policy of returning it within 90 days if not sold. Infrastructure design support from small budget decor work. We provide you round the year support for innovative designs and recipes. In tier 2-3 towns, we help you do the PR coverage, the media coverage on the date of the launch also. Quality, we have a quality control team which keeps visiting the stores. They do their quality audits and apprise you about what needs to be corrected and improved to improve the store, to improve the sales, to improve the customer experience. Once your store is operational, we also take the CCTV camera access with your permission at our head office, and we provide you with a daily camera supervision report also, and keep apprising you of all the good and the improvement areas at your store. The ideal location for a store like the average store is about 300 to 400 square feet. What we look for is a ground.
So Nikhil, let me just quickly take through the presentation. Like any other retail stores, of course, the ideal location is going to be high street, wherein we can have a mix of commercial as well as residential audience. And the size of the store ideally has to be around 400 square feet. And we want to, why 400 square feet is around 150 to 200 square feet goes towards the kitchen, wherein we do all kind of preparation. And 200 square feet is something, wherein we display our goods. And for if you talk about tier 2, tier 3 towns, you need not to be right in the middle of the market. You can be always on the street, which is leading to the main market, so that the customer going in or coming out of the market, you are easily visible to them and accessible to them. And at the same time, you can enjoy better rentals also. Now the next slide, please, Nikhil. Nikhil, can we have the next slide? So when we are talking about this kind of partnership, we also expect few things from our partners also, and of course we want them to believe in the we should have common vision, and of course entrepreneurial spirit has to be there, wherein the core competency is discipline to run any kind of business. Community orientation, yes, and one person has to be very well connected within the community and able to rope a lot of institutional sales. Quality and brand consciousness, yes, and given today's time, the last mile experience is going to be the key factor. So that is going to be a very, very for any business, very unique ability for any kind of business to prosper. Of course, where, like someone has said very rightly, that your staff take care of your business. So yes, at any point of time, the person is expected to motivate, keep their staff motivated, and have micromanagement towards shop hygiene. And now going forward, the stress is more going to be, how safe the customer is feeling visiting your outlet, or how safe the customer is feeling when they are accepting the home deliveries. So that is going to be a key factor. Next slide, please, Nikhil. So this is basically an investment structure wherein we are talking about investment of around 12 lakh rupees. So this franchise fees is there. 3 lakh rupees is the franchise fees. Shop interiors cost is somewhere around like 80,000 rupees. Machinery cost, this will have all kind of, your display units and oven and other infrastructure you would be needing to prepare all kinds of cake, pastries, handmade chocolates and savories items. First fill of stock, thereafter office equipments. So here you have, since we will be doing a lot of online and other stuff, so this has to be there. And basic POS and packing material and personalized machine, etc. So this is what the basic investment would cost. And we have next slide, Nikhil. Let's skip this, please. So in office equipments also, if something you have your own, you can use that. And this is basically a projected returns wherein, by running a FNP cakes outlet, the COGS is cost of goods sold. I mean, whenever we are making a cake, say if it is, we are retailing at 100 rupees, so 35 rupees is the cost of manufacturing it. So our gross margin is somewhere around 65%, and net margin is anywhere between 20 to 25%. Expected ROI is what, location to location, it will depend on what kind of catchment we are talking about and what kind of rental we are talking about. It will be 12 to 15 months. So we work on a very, very simple mechanism. For example, if there is a store in your vicinity, that normal store is doing a sale of 2 to 3 lakh rupees every month, wherein they are catering to the monthly or birthday and anniversary kind of gifting needs of people. So what we are trying to leverage upon is, of course, this sale is what we bring into our store. But at the same time, when we are talking about when a particular store is catering to 1,500 to 2,000 square feet of a residential population, we are targeting 1 to 7 years of kids. And we are looking for those special cake orders from them, wherein, the parents want to celebrate their birthdays. 1 से 7 साल के बच्चे होते हैं, उनको special character cakes बनाने होते हैं. And those cakes are, in the price range of somewhere around 3,000 to 7,000 and sometimes 10,000 rupees also. So we are targeting 3 such orders by local marketing. Whatever walk-in sales we are getting, second is that. And third is the online channel. So when we are talking about online channel, the orders which are being generated from the website is diverted to the local shop. At the same time, I am also walking into your store and asking for a delivery to be made in Bangalore. So we service those orders also. So it is a two-way kind of thing wherein, we generate orders from offline and online mode. Can we have the next slide, please, Nikhil? So basic success mantras, how to, maintain your store. So signage has to be neat and clean and upkeep of the store, no overstocking. Every e-com order is a future order. Here, there is a basic training program for all our partners, wherein not only every e-com order or when any walk-in customer is equal to your not only one future order, but many future orders. So that is one, and we have a special class for that for our all partners during the training. Database is the new currency. Brands or shops or establishments or businesses which will have more database is now will enjoy more business. So we have to be in touch with our customers at all times. Without database, we're not going to do that. And of course, you have to keep calling your customers for feedback. That's what we do. And old database calling was an exercise which we had adopted somewhere around in 2010 and 11. And we generate substantial amount of business through old database calling. Reminder service is something, again, a tool which can, one customer has the capacity of giving you 600 future orders. So this is where we work on. And again, it's a part of our training. Of course, we have various kind of ways of keep our customers engaging. Wherein, we have a R&D center at Delhi head office, and we keep on making and experimenting with the new kind of recipes. wherein we also promote cake of the month, pastries, personalized gifting, and stuff like that. And we also do a lot of combinations wherein, when we talk about, we have cake with plant and with personalized services, and we are creating mini kind of menus also for birthday celebrations or any kind of, kitty parties, etc. And of course, one more opportunity which we have started promoting is engagement cakes and wedding cakes. This is again a concept which is gaining popularity amongst youngsters who are actually driving the retail in India now. Can I have the next slide, please, Nikhil? So these are various testimonials from our few of the partners. So and we have all these three gentlemen partners. They are running like Vinod and Santosh are running somewhere around 4 flower shops and 2 cake shops. Deepak is again running somewhere around 9 shops for us. And Pooja Singhania from Kolkata, she is associated with us for the last 15 years. And when we started FNP Cake Journey, she was the one to first take this opportunity with us. So she is running the central kitchen also. So these are a few success stories. Over to you, Ashita, if we can have some question answers. If we have, we're happy to answer this.
Thank you, Anil, for a great presentation. Now we know in detail how to become a franchisee for FNP and be a trusted partner for them. So, before I take audience questions which are pouring in, I also have, a couple of questions while you were going through it. I was also just thinking that, there are few things that, you've got an online platform also, and you've got an offline platform also. So if an order comes through online and the delivery is being done by a franchisee, is the margin same of what he gets versus the order that he gets on his, in his brick and mortar store?
So we have to, of course, when we talk about online and offline, there are two different ball games altogether.
Sure.
And because retail is, you just you have normal infrastructure. आपकी शॉप है, आपका रेंट है, आपकी मैन पावर है, आपकी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है, उसमें आप एक केक बनाते हैं और आप उसको बेच देते हैं. ये हो गया नॉर्मल रिटेल. When we are talking about online, so online has different ingredients in it. You have a tech team, you have digital marketing, you have various other expenses contributing to it.
Sure.
So obviously, when it is like when I am approaching a corporate, so of course when we are catering to a corporate, we have to give them a special rate, right? Because it is a dedicated and business. So when we talk about offline and online, offline you have a margin of somewhere around, let me give you this example. A half kg cake is manufactured at a price of 130 rupees. This is including of the packing. This is retailed at 400 rupees from a retail shop. I'm talking about a 500 grammage of cake. Again, when we are catering to online, the web price is somewhere around 500 rupees and the partner gets around 250 rupees plus 75 rupees delivery charges. So he's getting 325 rupees. So there is a difference of 75 rupees in MRP if we talk about. But when we, in totality, we look at the business at the end of the month, what online and offline you have done, the CU just remains the same, around 35%.
Okay.
And Anilji, on this question, I come to what is the percentage of retail versus this gifting and delivery for you in person?
So it is 70 and 30.
70% retail.
Offline, 30% is online. However, there is one more thing. Why we started opening Ferns and Petal cake, FNP Cakes outlet was, though we are known in the industry as a company delivering flowers, but in our top line, I joined this company somewhere around 2004. 2004 से लेकर 2012 तक, the contribution of flowers used to be 60% vis-a-vis other categories of 40%. Today, cake itself as a category is contributing to somewhere around 42% in our top line. Flowers have reduced to 35%. So actually, we are selling more cakes than flowers now.
And what would be the gift percentage in that, Anu? So what would be the gifts percentage? So I understand that, we've got three products. First is flowers versus cakes versus the gifts. So do you put gifts
Right.
in the cakes category or?
So gift would be somewhere around, I would say 5 to 6% in the top line.
Okay.
Because we have various other things. We have plants, we have soft toys, we have chocolates. So all these things put together.
Okay, I have another question for you. I think you explained that 35% is your overall cost of goods, which is essentially in a bakery business is a food cost, and you will also include maybe packaging in that 35%. Now, balance is what you have other cost, and there are 5 different costs which would also come on this. One is your occupancy cost. So, what is the percentage for all the audience to know? What is the percentage of occupancy cost you keep it in your idle PL?
Sorry, I lost your voice.
So I'm saying, what is occupancy cost? What is a rental which you take as a percentage? Because you said 35% is your food cost and so to say packaging, which is cost of goods.
See, again, it should not, your rental should not be more than 10% of your top line. That's what.
So 10% is food cost and this occupancy cost. Then what is the HR percentage normally you keep?
HR percent is somewhere around. We talk about. It's around 7 to 8%.
8% is that, and what is your utility, which is electricity and
See, when we are food cost, when we deflate, when we are talking about 35% COGS, in that we have taken the infrastructure cost also. I mean, electricity and other thing already factored in it.
Okay, that's helpful. And what is your cost of acquisition of customer, which is marketing, or you pay the platforms? Because if you do deliveries through platforms, you will pay some fees to them. What would be the average percentage for a retail business? The overall
to acquire a customer, we spend somewhere around 400 rupees online for that customer to come and shop on our website.
Yeah, but for a retail, if I run a franchise, what should a percentage I should allocate for acquisition of customer, which is local store marketing or paying for the platforms? So what?
See, we have not gone into that depth as of now, but of course, once you are mentioning it, we'll definitely work on it. But what we basically practice is we open at such a place wherein 10 to 15 footfalls can happen on the road. That's number one. And second, we have predefined number of orders which we have already generating for that particular area. So we add up to that. Once the person receives any gift, most likely that within 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, that person is most likely to reciprocate. So this is how this network keeps building.
Sure. And what is the royalties? This is final from my side in terms of what kind of royalties you charge.
So we charge royalty as 5% or 12,000 rupees, whichever is higher.
Okay. So that comes out to be whatever 4 pieces you've given. This comes out for everybody to know. That comes about 30 odd percent as a expense. So what you're trying to say is that if the occupancy cost is 10%, because in F&B normally it's 15 to 20%. So you obviously would need neighborhood small shops. And now is a great time because the rentals have gone down. So it's a great opportunity for a lot of entrepreneurs to really get into business like that. And before we started, you were telling that you're still doing about 1,000 orders a day. So congratulations, you are one of the few businesses which are positively impacted, people still having cakes at home. And they're able to celebrate their birthdays with their kids and so on and so forth. We are also getting for our girls. So we feel that this is a good business. Is still a small business, very sustainable. It doesn't have an inventory which can go wrong. So over to you, Ashta, if you have more questions from the audience. And you're muted, I think so. We cannot hear you.
Sorry. Yes. So Mr. Gurpreet, Dougal wants to know if Anil is concerned about the manpower staff or the supervisors. So do you provide them or do you provide training to them?
So as far as you will be needing chefs, which is provided by the company, And for supervisors, yes, you have to hire them locally, and we are happy to we train them for you.
And quality control would be very, very sensitive because you have a huge brand and it's all the reputation of.
So we have a quality team.
Control the quality.
Yeah, we have a quality team, and every region we have regional managers, and they work with the quality team for that particular region, and quality is maintained through. We have a nice team in place. So we very well knew why we took a lot of time to start this business. As you know that we had started. Main concern was that how we are able to manage the quality. So that is the reason. Wherever smaller towns are there, we have allowed the partners to open their own kitchens. Wherein places like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, we worked on a concept of central kitchens. So all these places we have central kitchens, so that we don't have to monitor 20 kitchens in one particular city. So we are standard in a standard place, manufacturing everything and being distributed to all the partners.
Okay. And do you do anything after that? So once the delivery is done, because say for example, it's an order that was taken online and somebody delivered it. So do we do a quality check after that also and tell the sender that this is how it's being sent so that he's assured of that?
So we have a delivery app. So with delivery app, before this goods goes out of the shop, that photograph is taken. Once the person reaches the doorstep, again photograph is taken. And once the delivery has happened, so we show the product to the customer and take their rating from them on the app itself.
And if the customer doesn't like it, you would give the next cake free.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. No question asked.
Yeah, sure. A good service company should always claim that, they should always retain the customer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Time to time, we also do mystery audits and mystery quality audits by placing test orders and all that. So we have our checks and balances in place to keep it in control.
Gentlemen, who wants Nepal also, so just for putting this, there's an inquiry which we have got on a chat box on Nepal. If you're open for Nepal, Nepal is a great market.
Yes. We are very much open.
Yeah, Ashta.
Yeah, so I was asking what is the satisfaction index looks like. So if we say that, since it's happiness delivered, so what the index is?
So parameter is what Ashta is asking, is there a parameter for you to see the satisfaction level of the consumer, or how do you monitor that? What do you think is a rating factor to expect?
Definitely. We have various checks. Number one, we have repeat customer percentage, which is around 58%. And second is we have NPS. It's called Net Promoter Score, wherein Net Promoter Score is which tells you how happy your customers are, and NPS is something the highest NPS we consider is of Apple, somewhere around 75%. And our NPS, when we talk about in India business, it is somewhere around 38%. We have a target of reaching it to 50% by end of this year. That's number one. When we talk about places in Dubai and Singapore, our NPS is more than 75%.
Okay, which is great. Okay. So we have more questions pouring from the audience. So they are, talking about few geographical areas. If you're open for Uttar Pradesh, Hyderabad, Nepal, and Bombay. So are we looking at these?
We are open in all the cities possible, wherein we have, we already have FNP cakes in tier 2, tier 3 towns also.
Mm-hmm.
So we are open for pan India, wherever we can open. And for example, I believe barring tier 2, tier 3 towns, majorly why we are talking here about FNP cakes is all the cities have ferns and petal flower shop mostly, prominent cities. And we want to have cake presence, and half of the homework is already done in terms of location. Location can be anywhere nearby to F&B flower shop. That's number one. And number two, people have the we have that kind of customer. They already know Funs and Petals. Now, once we open F&B cakes, they'll have the ridership on that.
Okay. So Anil, Mr. Sharath S wants to know if you open up both the formats together, or he can be a franchisee for both floral and cake combined.
So earlier we started working on the same concept, wherein we took 1,000 square feet of an area and we made kitchen also, and we opened a flower shop and cake shop also. Now there were two things, major hurdles. One is, one commodity is not hygienic, and one commodity demands a level of hygiene conditions. Cake needs a lot of hygiene, flowers doesn't need. And when the flowers are also stored, there is some kind of foul smell which comes from the shop. Wherein you walk into a cake shop, you want to smell that aroma of chocolate and cake being baked. So then we decided, no, a person can own both the businesses, but it has to be different units altogether. There has to be clear-cut partition among both the businesses.
Okay, so there can be an opportunity in next door as well. So we could have a joint shop comparted for both the formats as well.
Yes.
Would you feel the location would be appropriate for both of them if you want to open up next door?
Yes.
So, there just this poll happened. I just wanted to share it. So, they've asked that, do you think florist and gifting business will recover faster post lockdown? So, 73% says yes. So, I think that's a good takeaway from the audience poll as well.
Yes.
And okay, so the very interesting question from Mr. Dugal, he's asking, is my personal presence mandatory at the store as a franchisee?
Is my presence?
Is his presence, I mean, his own presence, being an entrepreneur or a franchisee, is mandatory at the store?
No, not at all. We have, I also run around 15 stores, so I don't go there. So it is, you have to just train your team, follow the SOPs and various reporting formats the company, they will enjoy. You can remotely run your store and you can go as per your leisure to the store.
I have a viewpoint on this. I always encourage that who joins the business should never mind working. And this is a time now, especially after this COVID, we need good operator franchisees. There should be franchisees who come and sit in the store, work along with their staff, rather have another team, say a husband-wife couple, they should become franchisee and run and operate their store. They bring great warmth. They bring a better connection to their customers, and they obviously use your competence. So today, in these times when we are, people would look at these two things together. One, warmth, which comes from a franchisee and is a contribution, and second is a competence of a great brand which has a legacy like yours. So I would say, obviously your business is straightforward, it can be run remotely or with the help of team. But this is a time where entrepreneurs should, fold their sleeves and go into the stores and run alongside with their teams and maybe deliver cakes. I have a client of mine who's actually a chef and one of the top Italian chefs. He picks up pizza every day and goes and delivers. When he goes and delivers, everybody knows it's safe because he himself is coming. So I think this is a greatest time to demonstrate entrepreneurial ability. While your companies are like that, I mean, we know Vikas and the founder of the company and all of you are very, very hands-on, very committed people. So similarly, I think that any entrepreneur who joins in should never mind working in their own business. They should rather take a pride to work in their own company.
Precisely. We also go for sometimes midnight deliveries. We do midnight deliveries and we love when we faces of our customers. So that is a unique experience.
Yes, and Anil, you being a good cook, I can vouch for it, that you always make a better cake.
Yes.
Okay, so there's one more, question. Okay, so I also don't know that. Anil, somebody is asking how many varieties of flowers are there in your store? Do you have Kashmiri tulips in there? That's
No,
for
we don't have Kashmiri tulips. We do get sometimes tulips from Holland, but not from Kashmir. So A is they don't last too long. And nowadays we are also open to keep a lot of imported flowers also, because we have recently introduced a special chemical of ours, which is flower food, with which the flowers can now stay in your house for more than 15 days. If I send you some flowers today, Ashita, with that flower food, you can enjoy those flowers for more than 15 days now.
more than 15 days.
More than 15 days.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So there's one more question, Anil, from Mr. Chandra Gupta. Now, he wants a clarification. So he says it's an app-based business. That you do delivery through app and take orders online as well. So why do you need to open up physical stores? People can only manage tie-ups within the stores which are existing. So would you like to take that?
So this is, first of all, not app-based business. This is emotion-based business. When we talk about buying cake for birthdays or anniversaries, so most of the customers are emotionally invested into that gesture. All right. So wherever possible, first they want to see it. Second, they want to experience it. Then only that trust is built in that particular. How can I say that that particular cake shop has better cakes than others? Unless and until I have tasted and I have made my own comparison. So this is one, and second is again what kind of service you get. So it is a combination of 3-4 things. One is presentation, taste, and last mile service. What kind of customer experience that particular customer has got. So this is how this trust is built. That's the reason you have to have physical stores. You just cannot work on apps.
Okay, great. And Anil, do the franchisees, get the same percentage onto the domestic deliveries versus the international deliveries? Because I'm sure you would take a lot of deliveries, from the domestic market, people for international markets. So
Right.
if he books that, do you give him the same percentage or some referral?
It is almost on the same lines. So because the ticket size is again bigger in international deliveries. So we end up working on the same kind of COGS and profit percentage.
Okay, all right. And you just mentioned, regarding the loyalty programs. So you have a database irrespective of from where he's coming, you manage the same for all of your partners as well, and they get the benefit of it.
So our POS has, I'll let Nikhil talk about the POS. So Nikhil, please explain something about the POS, please.
So the current POS software that we're using in our stores was custom built basis the specific requirements of the unique business model that we have, be it the flower shop or be it the bakery shop. So the most important things kept in mind while getting this software developed was the ease of use, the ease of running the software offline and online, cloud-based. Second was the inventory management module, because in both the cases, the commodities are of perishable nature. The in and out has to be done in a very effective and quick manner. And most importantly, we have repeatedly been talking about the database, the customer database, marketing on that database, ODB calling, reminder services. So we have a beautiful artificial intelligence based module in that POS software that we have got developed specifically for our business use case scenarios. Apart from that, there is a marriage between the online and the offline transactions that we have developed in that software, which generally used to be done in a manual mode earlier. Then there are a lot of new features under development, like NPS for the offline stores, getting the ratings and reviews for the Google business listing pages of the store that you have, digital invoicing. So today everybody is talking, post this COVID crisis, everybody is talking about doing away with the physical paper-based billing or the invoicing format and move to digital invoicing. We were way ahead and we started doing digital invoicing almost a year back. And then there are a lot more features. The accounting module is going to be there, which will help you with your GST returns and bookkeeping, balance sheet, profit and loss accounts, your business projections, the business plan that you should adhere to or look at. So there are a lot many more features in that course. So it's not a run-of-the-mill software which is generally available in the market. It's very custom built with keeping all the success mantras that we share that we should do as best practices, and also the operational challenges that we used to face in our stores.
Okay, great. So it's one more query onto this, Nikhil, that is it a centralized account, in which a franchisee takes the payment from a consumer, or it goes to in his account and he pays you as a principal company royalties separately?
No. It's every franchisee would have a dedicated point of sale software terminal for them only. So they are doing all the transactions in their books only. The royalties that they pay to us, we have a central console which keeps a tab or which shows us what kind of sales they are doing, if they are capturing the right details about the customer database, the marketing activities that they are doing. So we keep a check on that. We don't interfere or intervene or monitor or supervise them. We work more in terms of helping them build their business. The royalties and everything, that's done in the offline mode. So customer comes to the store, the invoicing is done, the franchisee takes the payment, settlement done. The royalties is something different, which is done in an offline mode, not through the point of sale software.
Okay, all right. One more question regarding advertising. So do you have a central pool of advertising for all of them, which takes care of the national advertising, or franchisees, they don't contribute into that?
Technically, I won't call it as a central pool, but we spend a lot on digital platforms. We spend a lot on the conventional advertising mediums also to promote the brand, to promote the local offline stores also. And the franchisee does the local level marketing, like flyers, like WhatsApp messages or SMSs to their own customer database set, or maybe pick up a few small outdoor holding spaces or something like that. Generally, we don't encourage them to do that because the ROI on these kinds of marketing mediums is not much for our kind of a business model. So they don't contribute to a central pool, but yes, we do spend a lot on building the brand awareness and the awareness about the offline stores.
Sure. So they enjoy the.
There's a lot of questions pouring in. I don't want to, disturb that. I think Ashita needs to ask a lot of questions. I have to go to another webinar, so I will have to part from this. We have a strong belief on Ferns and Petals and the founders and the team, because we know all the team for many, many years. At Franchise India, we're very proud of you, and we're very proud of the kind of work you've done, the kind of contribution you've done to create these micro entrepreneurs, because I think that is I think a nation building exercise where you help a lot of people to be empowered, and then they can build their own businesses, their own life, and so on and so forth. So we have four pillars we call in franchising. One is what I call credibility, which you have great in serving and serving your clients, delivering them all the time, always on time. Second is, I think, predictability. Your business, because of now analytics, can predict where the business is, how much orders are coming, where it's coming, so you can really guide even your franchisee where to open up stores and so on and so forth. Sustainability, because it's a low cost, and I was very surprised at how you got a full bakery done at 12 lakh rupees to find these innovative ovens which can come in a 1 lakh rupee or 2 lakh rupees kind of investment, because every time people wanted to put up bakery, they would get on to 40-50 lakh rupees because of high capex cost. So it is genuine engineering, and I know Vikas is very good at it. So he's a champion on engineering, then find out low cost structures. And finally, it is a scalable business model. You can take it to any heights. You can build your large delivery platforms and so on. So full score on that. So I will have to be excused. Thank you, Anilji. Thank you, Nikhilji, and thanks, Ashita, for hosting this. And okay, you can all please carry on and have more questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So one more question, Anil, from the audience, is that do you keep the standard price for tier 1, tier 2 cities, or is there any difference?
It is same.
It is the same.
Yes.
Okay. And of course, there are many geographical areas that people are asking, which we can.
Yeah, generally, it is same only.
It is the same. Okay. Great. So I think it was a lovely presentation, Anil. We've got more questions which we can, because we have to respect the timelines. So we'll go back to them individually, and probably will bother you for some more questions. But I think it's a great opportunity, and particularly now when the rentals are down. And I think it's a great opportunity for the Times also, since you just told us about the deliveries that are still happening. So I think it's a so-called, there's very less downtime that we can see in the business. So I think it's going to be very interesting with low initial investments and high margins. So I think it's a fantastic opportunity. So for viewers, we've got some of our social media links here, which you can follow up later. And somebody's just asked about the presentation. So we would share the presentation with all of you as well. And you're most welcome to ask us more things about this opportunity as well. And thank you so much, Anil, for being there with us today. With your, presence, I think it certainly made a huge difference.
Well, pleasure is all mine, Ashita. Thank you for hosting this kind of platform and inviting us on this platform. And it was very, very encouraging for us. And we look forward to many such kind of webinars. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
And everybody, please stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nikhil. It was a great
Thank you.
presentation from your side.
Thank you. Sorry for the connection issue.
No, that's okay. So thank you, visitors. Thank you so much. Stay safe and take care of yourselves, and we'll come back to you with your remaining answers. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Stay safe.